Here are 7 Mac and iPad ports we're still waiting for. Cyberpunk 2077 is definitely the most anticipated Mac game, probably of all time. The release date for this game was slated for 2025. Many Mac gamers believe it will be showcased more at WWDC 2025, and that really does make sense. The game is also coming to Nintendo Switch 2 in June, which is really cool. So it would be really awesome if CD Projekt Red at the same time provided us some news on the Mac port, maybe just how's it going? We must remember this game has been confirmed to use path tracing and frame gen on Mac, which are not currently supported under macOS Sequoia. Maybe the game will release with the next version of macOS, because maybe the new macOS will support these features. The game is very playable under crossover though, if you want to play it that way. It runs really good on my M4 Max. Many forget that Hello Games and Apple announced an iPad version of No Man's Sky way back at WWDC 2022. However, there has been no news of the port since then. Nothing. No Man's Sky is very well known for its seamless crossplay and cross saves across platforms. Having this game come to iPad and being full crossplay, cross saves, whatever, and being a universal app with the Mac App Store version would just be so huge. Also, this game on iPad or on mobile in general would just be a massive accomplishment. It's a very big game. But maybe Hello Games are having trouble getting the game to run well on iPads due to thermal throttling, and also the game's new visual updates that just keep coming and coming. Or maybe they are delaying it because, who knows, maybe they're working on an iPhone version. That'd be cool. No Man's Sky is fairly playable even on base M1 if you run it at lower settings. So it should be maybe okay on M series iPads, but it's probably going to have to run at much lower settings. Still, I don't think there's any reason why the game can't be available for Mac via the App Store. I think that could still be possible. I don't know why that's not a thing. I really hope it's not cancelled, because I think this game on mobile or iPad would be really impactful for the mobile gaming industry. You might have also forgotten that AC Shadows was confirmed as coming to iPad as well. It will be a universal app with the Mac App Store version too. This was announced back at WWDC 2024. There are so many thoughts that come into my mind when I think about this game on iPad. How the heck is it even going to work on a freaking iPad? The Mac version alone has so many issues right now with its performance. I mean, Macs that don't support hardware accelerated ray tracing struggle to run the game, which makes sense. Macs with only 8GB of RAM can't play the game because the game requires more than 8GB of RAM. And no MacBook Airs are officially supported, even the latest M4 models. So what will the iPad version look like? How will it run? Will it be able to maintain at least 30 FPS? Maybe it will be similar to AC Mirage, which was capped at 30 FPS and offered its own graphics which were built down for mobile and used metal effects. Maybe the game will only be available for iPads that support hardware ray tracing, the M3 iPad Air or the M4 iPad Pro. But then again, the M3 iPad Air has only 8GB of RAM, and on iPad Pro, you also have an option for 8GB of RAM to start with. So maybe the game will only be available for the upcoming iPad Pro, which will start maybe at 16GB of RAM and have a M5 chip. I'm still waiting for Dead Island 2 for Mac. It was supposed to release on Mac by the end of 2024, but that never happened. It was also confirmed to release on Steam, which was really cool, especially if you don't like all the App Store exclusives, and it will apparently have support for HDR and Metal Effects, all the usual buzzy word stuff. But no news has been shared by Deep Silver and Dam Buster Studios since June 2024. That being said, if we look at Steam DB, some macOS depots have been added fairly recently, so that is something. I definitely think this game is still coming, but I'm hoping we see some more information soon, like it's maybe at WWDC 2025. I really want another zombie game on Mac, apart from Dying Light. I love Dying Light, but I'm a bit bored of it. While Dead Island 2 technically works under crossover, it is quite buggy and difficult to get running, so a native port would be much appreciated. No Rest for the Wicked is a dark, hand-painted action RPG that blends precision combat, deep customization, and a rich narrative in a grim medieval world plagued by corruption. It's from Moon Studios, the people behind the critically acclaimed Ori games. Now you might be saying, when was this game ever announced for Mac? Well, it's a bit complicated. Back in March 2024, Moon Studios said on a Steam post, "We are aiming to have a Mac version of the game, but can't make any promises yet. Stay tuned." Yes, we haven't heard anything from them since then about the Mac version, but it's still freaking cool that they even, responded to us asking about the Mac version. I think that is really cool by itself. It's very rare these days to see games like this on Mac, like really high quality indie games, so I hope it's still coming. Despite being released way back in 2015, The Witcher 3 remains one of the most requested games to be brought to Mac. Yes, we don't have confirmation from CD Projekt Red that a Mac port is even being worked on, but there are strong indications that they are using another porting house to bring it over to Mac, Virtual Programming. It's very likely that Virtual Programming also helped bringing The Witcher 3 to other platforms. We can see an Apple logo on VP's website for The Witcher 3, although I don't understand why it's listed as released, because it's not on Mac right now. This Apple logo only appeared last year too. CD Projekt Red somewhat recently updated The Witcher 1 and 2 for M Series Macs, and again, it looks like VP have helped with these updates. The ports are not fully native, they are Wine binaries, and they're not great. The Witcher 3 runs fairly well under crossover, which should be no surprise given the age of the game. But this is the next-gen version. If Virtual Programming are working on a native port of The Witcher 3, I really hope they give it a little more care than some of their other Mac ports. Please bring Hairworks, Metal support, and please don't use Wine and OpenGL. It's been a few years since I've talked about Hollow Knight Silksong. The release date of this game has now been scheduled for 2025 for all major platforms. When the game was initially revealed, it was confirmed as coming to Mac, same day as other platforms. I can't confirm if this is still the case, but given that Mac support hasn't been removed from the game's website, I'm not talking about the Steam page, I think it's pretty much guaranteed still that Silksong will come to Mac at some point. The original Hollow Knight was a few years back updated for Metal over OpenGL, and this means Team Cherry are using up-to-date Apple tech, which should help with the development of Silksong for modern Macs. Anyway, that's it. Let me know in the comments what you think is going on with all these upcoming Apple ports. Do you think they are going to make an appearance at WWDC in a few weeks? Do you mind that a lot of these ports get announced and then like nothing is said? And it's like all secretive. Does it annoy you? I personally just find it quite exciting, and I also just wanted an excuse to make this video because I really want to see these games on Mac and on iPad and so forth. I really do. Anyway, my name is Stewie, and thanks for watching.